So this is another question and involves expansion again, but we're going to break it down. So first we're going to deal with this section, and then next we're going to deal with this section afterwards. So let's deal with this question. You've done these before. Again, multiplication y, because there's a multiplication sign there. Same thing here. Same thing there. Same thing there. So now, let's expand this. X times x plus x times 4 plus 2 times x. Notice how I'm using my hands. Plus 2 times 4. Then minus. Okay, I'm going to put a brackets there. The reason why I'm going to put a brackets there, because that negative will affect it later on. Okay, because there's actually a negative sign there. I want to protect these. Okay, so I'm going to put a brackets there as well. Why not? Same thing. X times x, x times -5, -2 times x, -2 times -5. So now we're going to do the first thing. X times x. Then x times -5. Okay, there's a negative there. So what we said earlier was going to use our negative first and multiply with the positive. -5 times x. Now you're doing -2 times x. -2 times -5. So I would avoid, if you struggle with multiplication, don't do these in your head. Do the working out first. Now you're left with x times x is x squared. Plus x times 4 is 4x. Plus 2 times x is 2x. Plus 8. The reason why it's taking quite a long time is because I'm actually explaining it while I'm doing the question. Now, x times x is x squared. -5x, -2x, and then afterwards positive 10. Cool. Now we're left with this last part. Okay, so now we're going to simplify this. What are our like terms? Oh, cool. This one and this one. And then also the same case here as well. So now you're left with x squared plus 6x plus 8 minus x squared minus 7x plus 10. Now, like we were saying before, this negative sign is going to affect everything in the brackets. For example, if I said -2 times x, that's going to multiply with that, which is -2x. So I didn't want to do that at the start because it will complicate it. I'd rather do it at the end. Or, for example, if you had negative x, that's going to be -x. Because there's actually a 1 there, you can't see it. -1 times the x is -x. -2 times x is going to be -2x. So now we're simply going to expand this. So that -1 is going to multiply with everything in the brackets. Again, you can't see that -1. So I'm going to write that here. So now you're left with x squared plus 6x. I'm just writing this down. Plus 8. I'd highlight this as just keeping everything on the same line. Now, -1 times x squared is -x squared. -1 times -7x is positive 7x. -1 times positive 10 is -10. That's your knowledge of multiplying positive and negative numbers. Now, we can bring our like terms together. So x squared minus x squared, they cancel out, and that will be a 0. 6x, any like terms? Yes, positive 7x. So I'm going to put my like terms together. So 6x plus 7x plus 8 minus 10, plus 8 minus 10. That will be now, as our final answer, 13x minus 2. And that's your final answer for that question. That's quite a hectic question, okay? But first what I did was put the brackets, worked out what's on the left-hand side, put the brackets, worked out what's on the right-hand side, and then I made sure that that negative sign did not affect it, influence anything until the end, after we've expanded everything, okay? Otherwise, there will be mistakes along the way.